In our lesson today, we are going to look at resources and economic activities. This being Unit 4 of our syllabus, and we are going to look at specifically Class 7. Class, what are resources? What are resources? Resources refers to things that we use to create wealth and meet our needs. Examples of resources are minerals, water, forests, fertile soils, animals, human labor, among others. Economic activities. Economic activity refers to activities that people do to earn income and create wealth. Examples of economic activities are fishing, farming, transport, tourism, mining, livestock keeping, and industrial activities. Let's look at agriculture. Agriculture refers to the growing of crops and keeping of livestock. Agriculture refers to growing of crops and keeping of livestock. Many a times, learners tend to define agriculture as growing of crops, which is not correct. Let's look at crop farming, specifically cash crop farming. We are going to look at cocoa in Ghana, cloves in Tanzania, and pyrethrum in Kenya. Cocoa in Ghana. Cocoa was brought to West Africa from Central America. When we talk about West Africa, the countries that should come in mind are Benin, Liberia, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Ivory Coast, among others. You have to know that as much as we are looking at cocoa in Ghana, this is just a case study. But the largest exporter of cocoa in Africa is Ivory Coast or Cote d'Ivoire. There are two varieties of cocoa. The first one is Cocoa Criollo. Cocoa Criollo. This type of cocoa does well in Central America. The variety is low yielding but has superior quality. The next one is Cocoa Forastero. Cocoa Forastero. Cocoa Forastero is the variety that is widely grown in Africa, specifically West Africa. This variety is high yielding but has low quality. Cocoa is grown for the part that is called the pods. Pods are hard cover, but within it you find some seeds that are ground into powder, and that is what cocoa is. The cocoa tree is referred to as cacao. The cocoa tree is referred to as cacao. Class, not all areas in Ghana grow cocoa. Therefore, let's look at the cocoa growing areas. Most of the cocoa grown is grown in small scale. in small family farms. The main cocoa growing area is referred to as cocoa growing triangle. The cocoa growing triangle is made up of Accra, Kumasi, Sekonde, Tekoradi. And sometimes we have Tamale, but the main triangle is Accra, Kumasi, Sekonde, Takoradi. As this is what Sekonde, Tekoradi, Accra, and Kumasi, they come up they form a triangular kind of shape when you link the 3 points. And that's why we call them cocoa growing triangle. Cocoa grow in some specific conditions. Therefore, we turn to the conditions favoring the growth of cocoa. Cocoa requires the following conditions. It requires plenty of rainfall of about 1,500 millimeter to 2,000 millimeter. It also requires high temperature of 23 degrees Celsius to about 28 degrees Celsius throughout the year. The area has to be humid throughout the year. There should be shelter from strong winds because the cocoa pods can be, when disturbed or when the cocoa trees are shaken, the pods will fall off prematurely. Then the soil must be deep and well-drained soil. There should be protection from strong winds, and therefore intercropping with other trees will help, especially when the cocoa tree is young. This crop is grown in a low altitude area of up to 750 meters above the sea level. And during harvesting and drying of these beans, it requires a lot of human labor. Uses of cocoa. Cocoa is very useful. Class, if I asked you about cocoa, many of you I know have tested or come in or interacted with cocoa products. Uses of cocoa. Making cosmetics and medicine. Manufacturing of chocolate and sweets. Drinking chocolate, the beverage. Making animal feeds, the husks from this particular crop are used to make animal feeds. And then the cacao tree is used to make poles for fencing. How or why is this crop very important to Ghana as a country? Let's look at the importance of cocoa to the economy of Ghana. Number one, the country earns foreign exchange. Number two, employment. Many people are employed in these farms and therefore employment is created. Apart from that, industry related to this crop offer employment. There is also source of income for farmers who plant this crop. They sell and get income. Source of raw materials for industries. Urbanization of centers such as Takoradi, Kumasi, and Accra. These are urban centers that have come up as a result of growing this crop. Then there is proper infrastructure development and communication. Transport and communication has developed. Then improved living standards of the people who are engaged in growing this particular crop. Class, today we are looking at resources and economic activity. We have looked at what resources and human activities are. We've given examples of all of this. We've looked at agriculture, defined what agriculture is. We've said agriculture refers to growing of crops and keeping of livestock. We have said at this level we are specifically looking at cocoa, cloves, and pyrethrum. And we started by looking at cocoa in Ghana. We said cocoa was introduced in West Africa from Central America. And there are two varieties of cocoa that exist. We have Cocoa Criollo, which is grown in Central America, and we said this particular variety is slow yielding, but it's of the best quality, highest quality. We have looked at Cocoa Forastero, which is the variety that is commonly grown in West Africa. We have said it's high yielding, but it is the lowest quality compared to Cocoa Criollo. I've said that the cocoa tree, is referred to as cacao. The cocoa tree is grown mainly for the part that is pods. The pods are the main important part of this crop, and that is what is harvested and then sent to industries for manufacturing. We have looked at the areas where cocoa is grown, and I said that cocoa is not grown across all the areas in Ghana. There are specific areas that grow this particular crop. And we said these areas are given a specific name. The name is Cocoa Growing Triangle. This comes as a result of the positioning of these particular towns. When you link the three towns, they form a triangle. Therefore, we call them Cocoa Growing Triangle. The Cocoa Growing Triangle is made up of Kumasi, Sekonde Takoradi, and Accra, as indicated in the diagram shown here. Conditions favoring the growth of cocoa. We have said cocoa requires plenty of rainfall throughout the year, about 1,500 millimeters to about 2,000 millimeters throughout the year. High temperatures of about 24 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius throughout the year. The area has to be humid, high humidity throughout the year, well-drained fertile soils, and low altitude of up to 750 meters above the sea level. Then these crops have to be protected from strong wind, especially when the crops are young, especially when they are maturing, because when the tree is shaken, the pods will fall off. Then direct sunshine should also is not favorable for the plants that are very young, when they are very young. Therefore, they need shade. Then we said that harvesting and drying of the crops require a lot of human labor. Uses of cocoa. We've said making of cosmetics and medicine, manufacturing of chocolate and sweets, making drinking chocolate, which is a beverage, making animal feeds from the husks, the remains of this particular crop. We make animal feeds. Then the tree itself, the cacao tree, is used for fencing. Importance of this crop to the economy of Ghana. Number one, the country earns foreign exchange. Number two, employment. Number three, the source of income for farmers. Number four, source of raw material to the industries. Then we have urbanization of centers such as Takoradi, Kumasi, and Accra. Then development of transport and communication, and the improved living standards. Class,